To Leroy, you're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're also charged with reckless driving. On the DWI, you're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. On your other case, you're facing up to 30 days in jail and or a $500 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
On November 3rd, 2024, officers observed defendant's motor vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed, 105 miles per hour, making unsafe lane changes, cutting off several other vehicles, and driving through narrow 2-lane construction zones and on the Sam Houston Tollway. The officer was able to catch up with the defendant and initiate a traffic stop. Officer made contact with the driver and observed mild odor of alcoholic beverage, red bloodshot eyes, and a slight sweat. Officer observed a brown bottle of alcoholic beverage under the passenger seat, open and half empty. SFST is administered, HGN 4 out of 6, walking turn 4 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. Defendant denied drinking anything, then claimed to have only consumed 1 beer. And DICs were read and breath was refused. Blood search warrant was obtained and executed.
Are you telling me that he's going through a construction zone at 105 miles an hour?
That's what I have here, Judge. Per the dams.
Any prior DWIs? Mind checking? Or any kind of other reckless driving?
I don't see anything that has to do with driving on the record.
There's a lot of construction on the Tollway Road. If you're going that fast, probably pass through it. You know, rather
It's
quickly.
supposed to slow down at an extreme slow place when you're
I agree.
extremely slow pace when you're going through a construction zone.
I agree.
Mr. Leroy, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case, and I'm now taking away your privilege to drive. You're not allowed to drive at all. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That you will be signing an affidavit with me, and I hope that you take it seriously, because if not, you'll be facing 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. And I don't care what your excuse is. Mother Teresa needs a ride to church. You come down, we will have a hearing, and you're facing 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you drive. I'm also ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol or any kind of dope, likewise, you will go to jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
These are 2 different affidavits that you're going to be signing. So if I find that you drive, and I don't care what it's for, I will have 2 contempt hearings every time you drive. You have a lawyer. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with Mr. Agle, and he will tell you when you have to come back to court. If he comes back to me and tells me he can't get a hold of you, you pick up a new case. You violate conditions, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, we'll have you go.
Thanks.
All right, you are Eric Matthew Mack.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mack, you're charged with criminal trespass. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You're also charged with interference to the duties of a public servant. On both of those, you're facing up to 6 months in jail. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On October 30th, 2024, officers were patrolling an apartment complex in Harris County, Texas that is known to have a high amount of crime. Officers are familiar with the property manager who has complained about trespassers in the past. There were multiple no trespassing, no loitering signs throughout the apartment complex. Officer observed the defendant walking around the apartment complex wearing a hoodie with the hood up and a mask covering his whole face and holding an unknown object in his pocket. Officer asked if the defendant lived in the complex and the defendant did not answer. Officers believe that crime was afoot as defendant refused to remove his hands from his pocket. Officers attempted to Terry frisk the defendant for any weapons. The defendant refused to be patted down for weapons. Officers attempted to detain him for a criminal trespass investigation, but he refused to be placed in handcuffs. He resisted to be placed in handcuffs, and it took 4 minutes. It took 4 deputies to detain him as he kept pulling away and moving his hands away from each other. It was determined that the defendant did not reside at the apartment complex.
Mr. Mack, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. How old are you, sir? What do you do for a living? Why not? Sorry? I can hear you. There's so many people that are hiring, it's ridiculous. Did you graduate from high school?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what's the next move in your life? You're 21, you ain't got no job. What are you doing with your life?
Military.
That would be a great idea. Holy moly, that would be awesome. Really. That will give you structure, it will give you discipline, and it'll get you a job. That would be a fantastic thing to do. But jobless, no prospects, no future at 21, that's not going to bode well for you. So, I'll appoint your lawyer today, but it's one of the two things. Great idea if you want to go to the military. If not, you must get a job, and I'm making that a condition of your bond. Do you understand?
Yes,
You
sir.
cannot just smoke weed and play Xbox and do nothing all day without no regard to your future. It's not going to happen. So, 2 things. I don't want you going back to this location, and I don't want you to have any weapons. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I will have you fill out an application. I'm going to bring you back in 2 weeks, and I want to see what you have done to get a job. If you've done nothing, it's not going to go well. Do you understand, Mr. Mack?
Yes,
You
sir.
got to do something with your life, because if not, you're going to be hunchless, just on the side of the road, begging for money without a prospect. That's not a good way to go through life. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, come on, Stephen, I'll give you an application. You'll sign a reset with Ramona, and then we'll have you take a seat in the jury box.